The West African Commission on Drugs, led by its chair, ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo of Nigeria, today called on Vice President Kwesi Amissah-Arthur at the Flagstaff House. They discussed the growing drug trade in the West African sub-region and how to tackle it.
Statistics at the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime indicates that in 2009 alone, locals consumed a third of hard drugs shipped from South America through West Africa en route to Europe and America. This means large quantities of these illicit substances find their way to especially sprawling communities. The West African sub-region has not only graduated from a transit point to a major consumer by default, but also suffers the ramifications of drug usage. This includes destabilization of governments, arms trafficking, human trafficking, and money laundering. In January this year, the Kofi Annan Foundation and other international partners put together a high-powered commission led by former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo to look at the impact of drug trafficking on governance, security, and development in the sub-region. The commission is to develop evidence-based policy recommendations on how to curb the drug menace. After visiting Senegal and Ghana, the commission deemed it fit to brief Vice President Kwesi Amissah-Arthur on progress so far, chief among them the harmonization of drug laws in the sub-region.
When you have a train moving from A to B, if that train has to stop along the route, it will either be dropping passengers or picking passengers as it moves along. So we are gradually becoming consumers since we are transit, and that must not be taken lightly.
A member of the commission, Justice Bankole Thompson, also noted the need to punish drug traffickers while users are treated as a public health emergency.
We must apply the rehabilitation model and the reintegration model of justice to them. In other words, you convict them. If you convict them, we're not going to send them to jail. Get them to some counseling process. And after a while, which is a revolutionary suggestion, after the counseling process, of course, you attach conditions to the counseling process. That within 1 year, we want to see you show a tendency towards being responsible. And if during the 1 year, that person has not committed any other infractions, you get a way of expunging from his record that conviction so that it doesn't continue to stigmatize it morally for the rest of his life.
On his part, Vice President Amissah-Arthur disclosed the government's resolve to intensify the fight against illicit drug.
We are dealing with a situation where you have traffickers who really are the criminals in this enterprise. And then you have people who have become addicted and therefore are victims themselves, and they need help. So I can see the point that you make about retributive justice, and we need to see these people as needing help, medical, psychological help, in order to overcome their addiction. In the schools, you're having people who at very early ages are being introduced to this thing. So people are investing in the youth, in getting them to develop a drug habit in order for the demand to keep rising. And we need to tackle this aspect also. So we need to mobilize the press in propagating these ideas so that we can come to some national understanding of the size of the issue, of the problem, and how to confront it.
If the massive arms trafficking by Tuaregs along the Libya-Mali route, as well as the instability in Mali, Guinea-Bissau, and Cote d'Ivoire is anything to go by, then the menace of hard drugs will have to be dealt with alacrity.